Welcome to the journey of listening, feeling and accompanying the profound values of life. Today, we will share together about something extremely close but sacred and precious: family. At this age, we may have gone through many stages, many turns of life. There are joys, there are sorrows, there are regrets, but among all of that, there is always a place, whether quiet or bustling, whether close or far, that always exists in everyone's heart. That is family. Take a moment of silence. Can you hear it? The laughter of children and grandchildren, the loving call of your spouse, the familiar scent from the old kitchen. Those are sounds and images that never leave our hearts, no matter how fast time passes, or how much age accumulates. Because family is not only where we grow up, but also where our hearts always return, when we are tired, when we are weak, or simply when we want to be ourselves. In the memories of the elderly like us, every memory of family is a treasure. It is the eyes of our mother when she sees us off to school. It is the calloused hands of our father who quietly takes care of us. It is the loud laughter during Tet. It is the simple but loving meal. We used to rush into life to build, to contribute, to succeed. But then when we look back, the memories that warm our hearts the most, aren't they always associated with the two words, family? Modern life makes children busy, causing the geographical distance between generations to sometimes become a distance in the heart. But, no matter where our children and grandchildren are, no matter how few times we see each other each day, family affection always exists, is stronger than anything. A phone call to ask about us, a text message to wish us well, or a worried look when we see we are tired. All those little things are expressions of love. We don't need big things, just need to feel that we are still remembered, loved. That's enough. Dear friends, sometimes old age makes us more closed, less sharing, and more lonely. But please don't forget, we are still the emotional center of the whole family. Children and grandchildren always want to be cared for, to be close, to listen to stories, to learn precious lessons from the lives of grandparents and parents. Open your heart to receive love. Call your children and grandchildren. Invite them over for a simple meal. Tell them about the old days, about the lessons of being human. Let family not only be the place where we return to in our hearts, but also the place where we live and spread love every day. At each stage of life, the concept of family has a different image. When we are young, it can be a place of shelter, the arms of our parents. When we grow up, family becomes a burden and a responsibility. But when we enter old age, family is the place for us to return to listen to the familiar sounds of memories, to have a peaceful and relaxed heart after years of devoting ourselves to life. At the age of 70 and above, we no longer seek success outside, no longer place too much emphasis on fame. What our hearts always yearn for at this time is closeness, warmth, and family affection. That is family, the place we always want to return to. The human heart, no matter how strong, has times when it needs to rest. Just like a boat that drifts across the vast ocean, it must eventually return to its destination. Family is that destination. Because only family can forgive us unconditionally. Only family family will accept us whether we are successful or unsuccessful, rich or poor. There, we do not need to hide our sadness. Do not need to wear a strong mask. Family is where the heart can breathe, where we are true to ourselves. A tree with roots can grow green branches. A person with roots can walk firmly on the path of life. Family is where everything begins, where we learn the first lessons in life. Learn how to love, how to give in, how to share. At old age, when looking back, the greatest achievements are not in position or property, but in successful children, obedient grandchildren, the seeds of life that continue to love, nurtured from the family foundation. Family is not just a place to live, but a warm home. There, each person is an important link, even if there are conflicts, even if there is distance. The bond is still the invisible thread that connects the members together. Love in the family is a special feeling. It is not noisy, not ostentatious, but persistent and profound. A family meal, a handshake when sick, a greeting in the morning, all are expressions of affection. Old age often comes with loneliness, illness and worries about the limited time. But family is the place to ease those worries. Just being with children and grandchildren, seeing familiar faces, the hearts of the elderly will become much warmer and more peaceful. A hug from a grandchild, a whisper from a child, a laugh in the house. These seemingly simple things have the ability to ease even the long, empty days. At the age of 70, many people choose to rest, to slow down, but there are also many people who still choose to live with goals, and the biggest motivation is family. They exercise to stay healthy, to play with their grandchildren. They take care of their health so as not to become a burden to their children. They read books and learn to be able to share and accompany the next generations. The family helps the elderly see that they still have a role, are still needed, and are still an indispensable part of the common picture of happiness. Over the years, the family also changes. Children grow up and start their own families. The house becomes more deserted. The laughter of the past is also less frequent. But that does not mean that the love fades. It simply changes to another form, quieter, but deeper. The elderly need to understand that feelings do not necessarily have to be expressed every day. But the important thing is to be present in each other's hearts. Children and grandchildren may be busy, but in their minds, the image of grandparents and parents always has an irreplaceable position. The elderly are not only loved, but also the bridge connecting generations. It is their calmness and experience that help reconcile conflicts and keep the fire of love in the family. Old stories and life lessons are precious legacies passed down to children and grandchildren. A family with grandparents and parents is always a family with a solid foundation, because there exists an inheritance of life values, ethics and traditions. Life can take us everywhere, through all kinds of events. But then, when we have enough experience and emotions, we realize family is the last support. When illness comes, when old age knocks on the door, when everything seems to be far away, only family is still there. The elderly do not need luxurious trips, do not need expensive gifts. What they need is the feeling of being cared for, being gathered around the dinner table, hearing the chirping of children and grandchildren, That is the simplest and most sacred happiness. At 70, time becomes more precious than ever. The first practical advice is to prioritize spending time with loved ones. You may not need to do anything big. Just be with your family every day. Eat a meal together. Listen to an old song. Watch the sunset through the window. Those moments are spiritual medicine for both generations. Elderly people should consider health a precious gift to maintain the connection with family. Maintain the habit of light exercise such as walking, deep breathing, eating moderately and having regular checkups. When the body is healthy, it is easier to share, be close and create happier moments with children and grandchildren. Elderly people have a wealth of life experience, can become a source of inspiration and guidance for the next generation. Tell old stories, lessons from the past so that children and grandchildren can better understand the value of family love. Sacrifice and tolerance. That is how to preserve the family spirit for each generation. Don't just live in the past. Continue to create new memories. A short trip with the family. A group photo. A warm birthday. All are small things but have great meaning. These are the things that help connect hearts between generations. Finally, be the one who takes the initiative to love, forgive and resolve existing misunderstandings. Don't let time wash away the opportunity to reunite. An apology, a hug, a phone call. Sometimes just that is enough to heal a heart. Keeping the family always where the heart is. When we reach the age of 70, we have more time to reflect on the past. Every smile, every tear, every reunion meal, all are imprinted in our hearts. Sometimes, just a familiar sound, the sound of a ladle touching a pot. The laughter of a child is enough to make us relive the glorious days. Therefore, family is not just a place we go to, but an inseparable part of our being. Like the heart that beats every beat for us to live, family love always burns quietly so we can feel life to the fullest. No family is perfect, just like no person has never made mistakes. But it is that imperfection that creates depth for each home. The times of anger, misunderstanding, distance, if overcome, will make family love stronger. At this age, instead of blaming the past, we learn to forgive. Instead of expecting change from others, we choose to live tolerantly. The happiness of old age does not come from having everything go as planned, but from knowing how to be content with what we have, especially with our family. Perhaps the most precious thing we can give at this time is time. A phone call to our children and grandchildren. An afternoon tea with our partner. A warm hug. Those seemingly simple things are the connection between generations. Don't wait for special occasions. It is the ordinary moments of life that create lasting memories. When we give unconditional love, we are also enriching our own souls. The elderly are not only witnesses of time, but also keepers of good values for the future. An old story, a life lesson, a family tradition. Those are things that our children and grandchildren will always remember. Don't think that your role has ended. Every word, every action of ours can inspire, nurture the spirit and personality of the next generation. That is a kind of legacy, not in money, but in the heart. When you have almost finished the journey, the most precious thing is not what you have achieved, but how you have lived. Be grateful for having a home to return to. Be grateful for having loved ones to love. Be grateful that your heart still vibrates at a laugh, a familiar look. Let each passing day be a complete day. Live gently, peacefully, because you have come a long way, and there are still family arms waiting to welcome you. Family is where the heart always returns. That saying is not only true in old age, but also true in every moment of life. But at the age of 70, when everything has settled down, we feel it more clearly than ever. Love while you still can. Come back, not only with your feet, but with your whole heart. Because there, in the warm home called family, our hearts always find true peace. If you find the story interesting and meaningful, please give me a share, subscribe and like. Thank you.